Princess Isabella Montclair stood before the gilded mirror in her private chambers at Rosewood Palace, her heart racing with anticipation. Tonight marked the beginning of what would become known as the most spectacular fashion journey in royal history. The International Charity Gala season was about to commence, and Isabella had decided to make each appearance unforgettable through the power of exquisite evening wear. Lady Margaret Thornfield, her trusted stylist and closest confidant, carefully arranged 14 magnificent gowns across the vast royal suite. Each dress told a story, each fabric whispered secrets of craftsmanship that had taken months to perfect. Isabella's vision was ambitious yet meaningful. She wanted to use fashion as a language of diplomacy, charity, and hope. The first gown caught the light like captured starlight. Created by renowned designer Elena Vasquez, it featured midnight blue silk adorned with hand-sewn crystals that formed constellation patterns across the bodice. Isabella had specifically requested this design for the Children's Hospital fundraiser, knowing that the celestial theme would symbolize hope and dreams for young patients. As she slipped into the gown, the fabric flowed like liquid poetry around her frame. The off-shoulder design was both elegant and modern, while the subtle train added just enough drama without overwhelming her petite figure. At the fundraiser, photographers couldn't stop capturing images of Isabella as she moved through the crowd. The gown's crystals caught every flash, creating a mesmerizing display that seemed almost magical. When she knelt down to speak with young patients via video call during the event, the dress moved gracefully with her, proving that true elegance never compromises compassion. The evening raised over $2 million, with many donors later admitting that Isabella's radiant presence had inspired their generosity. The second gown made its debut at the Environmental Conservation Summit. Isabella chose an emerald green creation by sustainable fashion pioneer Marcus Chen. The dress was crafted entirely from recycled ocean plastic, transformed into luxurious fabric through innovative technology. The design featured a fitted bodice with intricate leaf patterns created from reclaimed gold thread, flowing into a full skirt that rustled like autumn leaves with each step. The message was clear. Even the most glamorous occasions could champion environmental responsibility. Isabella's third appearance stunned everyone at the International Arts Festival. She wore a vibrant coral gown designed by young prodigy Amelia Santos, whose career Isabella had been quietly supporting. The dress featured hand-painted watercolor patterns that seemed to shift and flow as Isabella moved. The strapless design showcased a delicate pearl necklace that had belonged to her grandmother, creating a beautiful bridge between past and present. The skirt's layers created dimension and movement, making Isabella appear to float across the gallery floors as she admired paintings and sculptures. The fourth gown appeared at the Technology Innovation Awards, where Isabella surprised everyone with her choice of a sleek silver dress embedded with fiber optic lights. Created by tech fashion designer David Kim, the gown literally illuminated as Isabella walked, with soft blue lights pulsing gently through the fabric in response to her heartbeat. The futuristic design perfectly matched the evening's theme while maintaining the timeless elegance expected of royalty. The dress featured a high neckline and long sleeves, creating an air of sophistication while the technological elements added an element of wonder. For the 5th Annual Literacy Foundation Gala, Isabella chose a rich burgundy velvet gown by classical designer Victoria Ashworth. The dress featured intricate gold embroidery depicting scenes from famous literature, with tiny books and quills worked into the design. The long sleeves and modest neckline reflected the scholarly theme, while the luxurious velvet spoke to the importance of investing in education. Isabella paired the gown with antique gold jewelry and carried a small clutch designed to look like a leather-bound book. The 6th gown made its appearance at the International Peace Summit reception. Isabella selected a pure white creation by diplomatic fashion specialist Robert Clark. The dress featured delicate dove motifs embroidered in silver thread across the flowing chiffon layers. The design was intentionally simple, yet powerful, with clean lines that spoke to the clarity of peaceful intentions. Isabella wore her hair in a classic updo, allowing the gown's message to speak without distraction. At the 7th Environmental Youth Awards, Isabella surprised everyone with a gown made entirely from plant-based materials by eco-designer Sarah Green. The dress appeared to be traditional silk, but was actually created from innovative pineapple leaf fiber and organic cotton. The soft yellow color was achieved through natural dyes extracted from turmeric and safflower. The design featured a sweetheart neckline and A-line skirt that flattered Isabella's figure while showcasing how sustainable fashion could rival traditional luxury. The 8th gown appeared at the International Music Awards, where Isabella chose a dramatic black creation by avant-garde designer Philippe Moreau. The dress featured musical note patterns cut out of the fabric, allowing glimpses of skin that created visual rhythm as Isabella moved. The fitted silhouette and floor-length design exuded sophistication, while the musical motifs celebrated the evening's honorees. Isabella paired the gown with diamond earrings that caught light like twinkling piano keys. For the 9th Annual Women's Leadership Summit, Isabella selected a powerful red gown by feminist designer Carmen Rodriguez. The dress featured strong shoulder details and a confident silhouette that commanded attention while remaining beautifully feminine. The deep red color symbolized passion and determination, while the flowing skirt allowed for graceful movement during Isabella's keynote speech about women's education globally. The 10th gown appeared at the International Film Festival, where Isabella chose a glamorous rose gold creation by Hollywood designer Michael Chen. The dress featured sequins arranged in geometric patterns that caught light from every angle, creating a mesmerizing display perfect for the world of cinema. The mermaid silhouette hugged Isabella's curves before flowing into a dramatic train that required careful navigation but created stunning photographs. At the 11th Annual Science Achievement Awards, Isabella wore a stunning navy gown by innovative designer Dr. Lisa Park, who had incorporated actual fiber optic technology into traditional couture techniques. The dress appeared classically elegant in daylight but revealed intricate constellation patterns that glowed softly in dimmer lighting. The design celebrated both tradition and innovation, perfectly matching Isabella's approach to modernizing royal traditions. The 12th gown made its debut at the Global Health Initiative Gala, where Isabella chose a healing mint green creation by medical fashion designer Dr. E. James Wilson. The dress featured subtle cross motifs worked into the beading pattern, while the color was specifically chosen for its calming psychological effects. The elegant design included a modest neckline and three-quarter sleeves, reflecting the serious nature of global health challenges while maintaining the optimism necessary for positive change. For the 13th Annual Education Excellence Awards, Isabella selected a rich purple gown by academic fashion specialist Professor Elena Dmitriev. The dress featured gold embroidery depicting various symbols of learning from different cultures around the world. The design honored the global nature of education, while the royal purple color emphasized the nobility of teaching and learning. The 14th and final gown of this first series appeared at the International Cultural Heritage Festival. Isabella chose a stunning multicolored creation by cultural fashion anthropologist Dr. Priya Sharma. The dress incorporated traditional textile techniques from 12 different cultures, creating a beautiful tapestry that celebrated human diversity. Each section of the gown told a story of different artistic traditions, from Japanese silk painting techniques to African kente cloth patterns, Native American beadwork to European lacework traditions. As Isabella reflected on these first 14 appearances, she realized that each gown had become more than just clothing. They were statements, conversations, and bridges between different worlds. The response from both fashion critics and the general public had been overwhelmingly positive. More importantly, each event had raised significant funds and awareness for crucial causes. Fashion had become Isabella's tool for diplomacy, her method of communication that transcended language barriers. Lady Margaret smiled as she carefully documented each gown's impact in her detailed fashion diary. The measurements, the designers, the occasions, and the public response all mattered for future reference. But more than that, she was witnessing history in the making. Princess Isabella was proving that royal fashion could be both beautiful and meaningful, that elegance and purpose could dance together in perfect harmony. The first phase of Isabella's fashion journey had concluded triumphantly, but this was only the beginning. 28 more extraordinary gowns awaited their moments to shine, each one destined to add another layer to Isabella's growing legacy as a fashion icon who understood that true style comes from authenticity, purpose, and genuine care for others. 3 months had passed since Princess Isabella's first spectacular fashion campaign, and anticipation for her next series of appearances had reached fever pitch across the kingdom and beyond. Fashion magazines from Paris to Tokyo featured speculation about her upcoming choices, while charity organizations hoped to be selected for her next philanthropic fashion statements. Isabella felt the weight of expectation, but also the exhilarating power of using beauty to create positive change. Lady Margaret had spent weeks coordinating with designers worldwide for the next 14 gowns. Each dress needed to surpass the previous ones while maintaining the meaningful connection between fashion and purpose that had become Isabella's signature approach. The 15th gown emerged for the International Ocean Conservation Summit, where Isabella stunned attendees with an aqua blue creation by marine-inspired designer Captain Sophia Reyes. The dress appeared to move like ocean waves, with layers of flowing fabric in varying shades of blue and green that shifted as Isabella walked. Tiny seed pearls and crystals were scattered across the bodice like sea foam, while the skirt's movement mimicked the gentle rolling of waves. The designer had actually incorporated recycled ocean plastic into the dress's structure, making it both beautiful and environmentally responsible. Isabella paired the gown with a pearl tiara that had been reset with ethically sourced gems, completing a look that spoke directly to the evening's mission. The 16th gown appeared at the Global Mental Health Awareness Gala, where Isabella chose a calming lavender creation by therapeutic fashion specialist Dr. Rebecca Stone. The dress featured subtle gradient coloring that transitioned from deep purple at the bodice to soft lavender at the hem, symbolizing the journey from struggle to healing. Delicate embroidery in silver thread created patterns inspired by nature, leaves, flowers, and butterflies that represented growth and transformation. The design included comfortable elements disguised as haute couture details, reflecting Dr. Stone's belief that feeling physically comfortable could support emotional well-being. At the 17th Annual International Friendship Festival, Isabella wore a gown that would become legendary in fashion history. Created by collaborative design team Unity Collective, the dress featured fabric panels from 20 different countries, each contributing traditional textiles that were seamlessly woven together by master craftspeople. The result was a stunning rainbow of cultures that somehow created perfect harmony. From Indian silk to Irish linen, Peruvian alpaca to Italian satin, each material told its own story, while contributing to a greater narrative about global unity. Isabella had specifically requested that artisans from each contributing country be invited to the festival, turning the fashion moment into an international cultural celebration. The 18th gown made its debut at the Technology and Human Rights Conference, where Isabella surprised everyone with a creation by digital fashion pioneer Alex Chen. The dress appeared traditional from a distance, but revealed intricate digital elements upon closer inspection. LED threads woven through the black fabric displayed scrolling text of human rights declarations in various languages. while the dress's temperature-responsive material shifted colors to reflect Isabella's emotional state during her powerful speech about digital privacy rights. The innovative design bridged the gap between traditional royal elegance and cutting-edge technology, while delivering a crucial message about protecting human dignity in the digital age. For the 19th Annual Arts and Culture Heritage Gala, Isabella selected a breathtaking gold gown by historical fashion archaeologist Professor Maria Santos. The dress recreated textile techniques from ancient civilizations, featuring hand-woven gold threads, using methods that had been nearly lost to time. The design incorporated patterns from Byzantine mosaics, Egyptian hieroglyphs, and Celtic knotwork, creating a visual timeline of human artistic achievement. Isabella wore ancient-inspired jewelry borrowed from the Royal Museum, transforming the evening into a living exhibition about the continuity of human creativity. The 20th gown appeared at the International Youth Empowerment Summit, where Isabella chose a vibrant creation by teenage design prodigy Marcus Johnson. The young designer had incorporated hand-painted elements that told stories of youth activism from around the world. The dress featured a modern silhouette with traditional craftsmanship, representing the bridge between generations that Isabella hoped to foster. The bright colors and dynamic patterns reflected youthful energy, while the elegant execution demonstrated that young voices deserved serious attention. Isabella's choice to wear a dress by a 17-year-old designer sent a powerful message about believing in young people's potential. At the 21st International Disability Rights Gala, Isabella wore a revolutionary gown created by adaptive fashion designer Dr. Amy Roberts, who used a wheelchair herself. The dress was designed to look stunning both while standing and seated, with clever draping that accommodated various body positions gracefully. The deep emerald green fabric featured raised patterns that could be appreciated through touch as well as sight, honoring guests with visual impairments. Hidden magnetic closures made the dress easy to put on and take off, proving that inclusive design could be both practical and breathtakingly beautiful. The 22nd gown stunned audiences at the Global Food Security Conference. Isabella wore a creation by agricultural fashion designer Elena Vasquez that incorporated actual preserved wheat, rice, and corn into decorative elements. The golden dress celebrated the beauty of agriculture, while the incorporated grains honored farmers worldwide. The design managed to make agricultural elements appear elegant and sophisticated, while Isabella's speech about supporting sustainable farming practices gave deeper meaning to every decorative detail. For the 23rd Annual Space Exploration Awards, Isabella chose a silver gown by aerospace fashion specialist Commander Sarah Mitchell. The dress appeared to be made from liquid metal with a surface that reflected light like spacecraft hull material. Tiny fiber optic lights embedded throughout the fabric created the illusion of distant stars, while the dress's structured silhouette evoked the precision and engineering required for space exploration. Isabella paired the gown with a diamond necklace arranged in constellation patterns, completing a look that honored humanity's greatest adventure. The 24th gown appeared at the International Clean Water Initiative fundraiser, where Isabella wore a creation by environmental designer Dr. River Thompson. The dress featured layers of flowing blue and white fabric that moved like cascading water, with crystal elements that caught light like water droplets. The designer had used only organic, non-toxic dyes and materials, ensuring that even the dress's creation supported clean water principles. Isabella's jewelry featured pearls and aquamarine gems, completing a look that celebrated water as the source of all life. At the 25th International Literacy Festival, Isabella surprised everyone with a gown covered in actual text. Created by literary fashion artist Professor Jane Wordsworth, the dress featured excerpts from great literature in dozens of languages printed on silk panels using soy-based inks. The text created beautiful patterns while telling stories from around the world. Isabella had specifically requested that the excerpts focus on themes of hope, courage, and human connection, turning her gown into a wearable anthology of human wisdom. The 26th gown made its appearance at the Global Renewable Energy Summit, where Isabella wore a creation by solar fashion innovator Dr. Sun Kim. The dress incorporated actual solar panels disguised as decorative elements, with the collected energy powering LED accents throughout the gown. The golden fabric seemed to glow with inner light, while the technological elements demonstrated how clean energy could enhance rather than detract from beauty. Isabella's entrance into the evening reception, literally glowing with solar power, created an unforgettable image that dominated news coverage worldwide. For the 27th Annual International Peace Prize ceremony, Isabella chose a white gown by diplomatic fashion specialist, Ambassador Catherine Grace. The dress featured dove motifs created from mother-of-pearl inlays, with each dove carrying a different peace symbol from various world cultures. The simple yet powerful design allowed the message to shine through, while the exquisite craftsmanship honored the dignity of piecework. Isabella wore her grandmother's pearl choker, creating a connection between past and present efforts toward global harmony. The 28th and final gown of this second series appeared at the International Cultural Exchange Festival. Isabella wore a creation by multicultural design collective Global Voices, featuring elements from every continent. The dress told the story of human migration and cultural sharing through its fabric, patterns, and construction techniques. From African mud cloth to Asian silk painting, European lacework to Native American beadwork, South American weaving to Pacific Island tapa cloth, the gown celebrated the beautiful complexity of human culture. The result was not chaotic but harmonious, proving that diversity creates strength and beauty rather than division. As this second phase concluded, Isabella reflected on how each gown had opened new conversations and connections. Fashion critics noted that she had elevated the art of royal dressing beyond mere beauty to become a form of diplomatic communication. The gowns had raised awareness and funds for dozens of crucial causes, while proving that elegance and meaning could work together seamlessly. Lady Margaret's fashion diary had grown thick with notes, photographs, and correspondence from designers and organizations around the world. Requests for collaborations arrived daily, each presenting new opportunities to use fashion as a force for positive change. The princess had proven that royal fashion could be both aspirational and accessible, beautiful and meaningful. But perhaps most importantly, Isabella had inspired a new generation of young people to see fashion as more than consumption. Design schools reported increased interest in sustainable and meaningful fashion programs. Young designers were creating clothes with purpose rather than just profit in mind. The ripple effects of Isabella's fashion journey were spreading far beyond the palace walls. With 14 more extraordinary gowns still to come, the anticipation for the final phase of Isabella's fashion odyssey reached unprecedented levels. The world watched with excitement to see how this remarkable princess would conclude her groundbreaking journey through the intersection of style, purpose, and human connection. The final phase of Princess Isabella's extraordinary fashion journey arrived with the autumn season, bringing with it a sense of completion and anticipation that touched hearts around the world. News outlets had dubbed it the Final 14, while fashion historians prepared to document what many believed would be remembered as the most meaningful royal fashion moment in modern history. Isabella felt the weight of expectation, but also a deep satisfaction in knowing that her vision had already exceeded every dream. 28 gowns had raised over $50 million for various charitable causes, inspired countless young designers, and proven that fashion could be a powerful tool for positive change. Now came the responsibility of bringing this remarkable journey to a conclusion worthy of everything that had come before. The 29th gown appeared at the International Women's Entrepreneurship Summit, where Isabella chose a creation by self-made businesswoman turned designer Priya Patel. The dress combined traditional Indian silk techniques with modern Western tailoring, reflecting Priya's own journey from textile worker to international success. Rich jewel tones of sapphire and emerald created intricate patterns across the fitted bodice, while the flowing skirt allowed for confident movement during Isabella's keynote address about supporting women's economic independence. The gown featured hidden pockets designed to hold business cards and a small notebook, proving that even formal wear could be practical for professional women. The 30th gown stunned audiences at the Global Climate Action Awards. Isabella wore a revolutionary creation by environmental scientist turned designer Dr. Emma Green, made entirely from lab-grown materials that left zero carbon footprint. The dress appeared to be traditional silk, but was actually created from algae-based fibers, dyed with colors extracted from food waste, and constructed using solar-powered equipment. The result was a stunning emerald green gown with silver accents that seemed to shimmer with life itself. Isabella's choice to wear completely synthetic yet beautiful materials sparked important conversations about the future of sustainable luxury. At the 31st Annual International Humanitarian Awards, Isabella chose a gown that would become one of her most photographed looks. Created by refugee designer Amara Hassan, who had fled conflict in her homeland and rebuilt her life through fashion, the dress incorporated traditional patterns from Amara's culture into a thoroughly modern design. The deep purple silk featured hand-embroidered gold patterns that told stories of resilience and hope, while the elegant silhouette proved that cultural heritage could enhance rather than limit contemporary style. Isabella's decision to wear this gown while presenting awards to humanitarian workers created a powerful visual narrative about the strength found in diversity and perseverance. The 32nd gown appeared at the International Innovation in Medicine Gala, where Isabella wore a creation by medical fashion researcher Dr. Lisa Park. The white dress featured fiber optic threads that created the illusion of a beating heart across the bodice, with the pattern pulsing gently in rhythm with actual heartbeat sensors embedded in the fabric. The design celebrated the miracle of life while honoring medical professionals who dedicate their careers to preserving it. Crystal elements throughout the skirt caught light like tears of joy, creating movement that seemed to dance with hope and healing. For the 33rd International Children's Rights Conference, Isabella selected a gown by former street child turned designer Paulo Santos. The dress featured hand-painted elements created by children from around the world, with each small artwork contributing to a larger pattern that celebrated creativity, innocence, and potential. The rainbow of colors created joy and optimism, while the careful integration of children's art into haute couture proved that every person's creativity has value regardless of age or circumstance. Isabella wore the gown while announcing a new global initiative to support children's education through arts programs. The 34th gown made its debut at the International Scientific Discovery Awards, where Isabella chose a creation by physicist turned fashion designer Dr. Maria Curie Martinez. The dress incorporated actual bioluminescent elements that made portions of the fabric glow naturally in dim lighting, creating an otherworldly beauty that celebrated the wonder of scientific discovery. The navy blue base fabric represented the mystery of space, while the glowing elements suggested stars being born. The design required careful temperature control to maintain the living light sources, making Isabella's every appearance a carefully orchestrated celebration of science and beauty working together. At the 35th Global Mental Health Summit, Isabella wore a therapeutic gown by psychiatrist turned designer Dr. Sophie Chen. The dress featured color therapy principles in its gradient design, transitioning from calming blues at the bottom to energizing yellows at the top, with the wearer's heart level featuring the most balanced and nurturing green tones. The fabric itself was treated with aromatherapy elements that released subtle, calming scents as Isabella moved, creating a multisensory experience that promoted well-being for everyone nearby. The design proved that fashion could literally heal while still maintaining elegant sophistication. The 36th gown appeared at the International Arts Therapy Foundation Gala, where Isabella chose a creation by art therapist turned designer Elena Rodriguez. The dress featured therapy session artwork from trauma survivors, carefully integrated into an abstract pattern that told stories of healing and transformation without revealing individual experiences. The warm earth tones created feelings of safety and grounding, while silver thread details added light and hope to the overall composition. Isabella's choice to wear art created through healing processes sent a powerful message about the therapeutic power of creativity. For the 37th Annual International Friendship Day celebration, Isabella selected a gown that required international cooperation to create. Designer Collective Global Unity had coordinated with textile artists from 42 different countries, with each contributor adding one element to the dress. From Scottish tartans to Brazilian lace, Japanese silk painting to Native American beadwork, the gown became a wearable celebration of international friendship. The final result was surprisingly harmonious, proving that diversity creates beauty rather than chaos when approached with respect and collaboration. The 38th gown stunned attendees at the International Sustainable Development Awards. Isabella wore a creation by agricultural engineer turned designer Dr. James Farm, made entirely from agricultural waste products that had been transformed into luxury materials. Corn silk became flowing fabric, wheat straw was woven into golden trim, and rice husks were processed into delicate beading. The dress proved that waste could become wonder through creativity and innovation, while its elegant design challenged preconceptions about sustainable materials. Isabella's appearance in this gown while presenting awards for environmental innovation created perfect synergy between message and medium. At the 39th International Education Excellence Awards, Isabella chose a gown by former teacher-turned-designer Professor Mary Wisdom. The dress featured subtle patterns that revealed themselves as mathematical equations, scientific formulas, and literary quotes when viewed from different angles. The deep blue fabric represented the depth of knowledge, while golden details suggested the precious nature of learning. Hidden throughout the design were symbols from various academic disciplines, creating a treasure hunt for educated observers while maintaining overall elegance for general appreciation. The 40th gown appeared at the International Human Rights Day ceremony, where Isabella wore a creation by human rights lawyer turned designer Justice Maria Santos. The white dress featured the Universal Declaration of Human Rights printed in microscopic text across the entire surface. Visible only upon close inspection, but creating texture and depth visible from any distance. The simple, dignified design honored the gravity of human rights work, while the hidden text reminded viewers that every detail of human dignity matters. Isabella paired the gown with jewelry made by formerly enslaved artisans, turning her entire appearance into a statement about freedom and justice. For the 41st International Cultural Heritage Preservation Gala, Isabella selected a gown that brought ancient techniques into modern times. Created by cultural anthropologist turned designer Dr. Heritage Keeper, the dress incorporated textile techniques that were in danger of being lost forever. Master craftspeople from indigenous communities worldwide contributed their knowledge to create patterns and textures that hadn't been seen on royal gowns for centuries. The result was both ancient and contemporary, proving that preserving cultural heritage could enhance rather than limit modern creativity. The 42nd and final gown of Isabella's legendary fashion journey appeared at the Global Hope and Unity Summit, where she would deliver her concluding address about the power of fashion to create positive change. Isabella chose a creation by collaborative design group Future Makers, which incorporated elements from all 41 previous gowns into a new masterpiece. Fabric samples, embroidery techniques, and design elements from each previous dress were carefully integrated into a stunning white gown that told the story of the entire journey. The result was not chaotic, but deeply meaningful, with each element contributing to a greater whole that celebrated unity in diversity. As Isabella stood before the mirror in her chambers for the final time in this remarkable journey, Lady Margaret carefully adjusted the last details of the anniversary gown. Both women felt the weight of history and the lightness of hope. They had proven that fashion could be more than consumption, that beauty could serve purpose, and that elegance could change the world. The gown's train incorporated thread from every nation on Earth, woven together by master craftspeople who had volunteered their time to support Isabella's vision. As she walked toward her final appearance, the train flowed behind her like a river of global unity, carrying the hopes and dreams of everyone who had contributed to this extraordinary journey. Isabella's concluding speech that evening would be remembered for generations. Standing in her gown that literally embodied global cooperation, she spoke about the power of beauty to inspire action, the importance of using privilege for purpose, and the way fashion could become a language of hope that transcended all barriers. The final funds raised that evening brought the total impact of her fashion journey to over $100 million donated to charitable causes worldwide. But perhaps more importantly, Isabella had inspired a fundamental shift in how people thought about fashion and consumption. Design schools reported dramatic increases in applications for sustainable and socially conscious fashion programs. Young people around the world began asking not just, "Is this beautiful?" but, "What good can this do?" The ripple effects of her fashion journey would continue for generations. Lady Margaret's final entry in the fashion diary read simply, "Today, Princess Isabella proved that true elegance comes not from what we wear, but from why we wear it. The most beautiful gown is one that makes the world more beautiful for everyone." As Isabella carefully removed the final gown and prepared it for eventual display in the Royal Fashion Museum, she smiled, knowing that this ending was really a beginning. Around the world, young designers were already creating beautiful things with beautiful purposes, inspired by a princess who had shown them that fashion could be both gorgeous and good. The 42 gowns had become more than clothing. They had become symbols of hope, tools of diplomacy, and proof that beauty and purpose could dance together in perfect harmony. Isabella's fashion journey was complete, but its impact would continue forever, inspiring countless others to use their talents and platforms to make the world more beautiful, one stunning choice at a time.